Welcome to Kerbside Conversations, the podcast that parks right at the edge of paramedicine. We're chatting with real voices from inside the profession, straight from events, summits, and conferences. I'm your host, Laura Harrello, and whether you're tuning in between shifts or you're on your way to your next CPD, this is your quick hit of hot takes, raw insights, and a few laughs, all from the heart of the action. So I invite you to pull up, grab a coffee, and tune in to the topics shaping our profession. You're in good company.
All right. So why don't you tell me what your name is, where you're from, and what your current primary role is?
Cool. So my name is Jess from Wissa. I'm a critical care paramedic in Metro Brisbane. I mainly work out of Metro South, so area called Goodridge or Logan District. Yeah.
And so you're critical care, but like on road, like on
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Rather than the flight. I feel like
Yeah.
you mostly hear from flight, and we don't
Yes.
often hear from road.
No, so I'm on road critical care paramedic. So yeah, definitely started, I guess, my career obviously as a base care paramedic, working out in the Baysides. I did a lot of work on the Bay Islands, so like Macleay, Russell Island, and a few of those. And then, yeah, eventually got onto the internship and then worked as became a critical care paramedic and then been on road since.
And the islands are quite rural.
Yes, in regards to like resourcing and accessibility, definitely. Yes, so you've either got a ferry to interchange between getting from the island to mainland, and definitely distance, I guess, via that to a tertiary hospital is at least a good maybe hour and a half to 2 hours. And then obviously for those really critical patients, you're looking at flight. To get anywhere on those resources, on those islands, apologies, they maybe have one GP clinic with maybe 1 to 2 doctors on site and maybe a nurse. Some of those islands don't have any medical resources. Like you've got Lamb and Coochie who may have just maybe a nurse, but otherwise no medical resourcing. So everything then sort of has to come either come from mainland or they have to be taken to the mainland to get that access. Again, when it comes even to other emergency services, it's very limited with resourcing. So all the fireys and emergency services are mainly volunteers as well. Yeah.
And so, sorry, did you start like at the very beginning of your career in those remote areas, or did you work a little bit?
I worked maybe my first grad year in Metro in the Bayside, and then once I qualified, I started working immediately. Yeah.
And what was the most sort of shocking or surprising thing about making that transition? Because I would imagine it would be just a huge change.
Oh, yes. It was not having backup or in a reasonable time. So, for example, there was one patient that I went to that was sort of a domestic situation that needed QPS support and everything like that. And in the metro area, that can generally happen very quickly. There's no sort of delay to care and everything. With this situation, I had to wait for mainland QPS to come along. So it took about an hour before we were able to sort of even get to the patient to then help treat them and manage it. So very isolating.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get anything and to be able to treat or manage anything.
And so like, how does that change that sort of like knowing that essentially you're it for the next hour, 2 hours, whatever? How does that change sort of how you do things or how you assess patients or how you think about sort of next steps for patients?
Yeah. So now you've got to think, 5, 6 steps ahead. So it's not just the getting there and just managing really quickly and then getting them to the hospital. It's like, okay, what resourcing am I going to need? How early do I need to, get in contact with those resources? Because I know it's going to take a long time. And then it's looking at how I'm going to manage that patient. So, will this intervention, do I do it right now or do I wait a little bit because of how long I'm going to be with that patient? Like, for example, pain relief, how am I going to give it? How much am I going to give it?
Yeah.
You tend to maybe be a lot more aggressive in a metro area. We've got shorter distances to hospital. But for example, I know now that I'm going to be with this patient for maybe 2 hours. So I'm going to spread it out or, just give it differently. So even down to things like that, it's takes a lot of management and planning to think about those things.
Yeah. And do you feel like there were skills that you learned in that rural area that maybe you wouldn't have you wouldn't have gotten as fast in the metro area.
100%.
Yeah.
So being in that rural area, you learn, I guess, how to do everything on your own.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously here we work definitely in teams and everything, but learning how to work on your own, trusting the people on the island. So all in those rural areas, everyone's very connected. And, you know, if, for example, your car gets stuck, you know, there's John down the road that we all call because he's going to be the one that's going to pull the car out of the road. And it's like entrusting then the community as well for help and support in those things. Everybody knows each other. Everyone wants to help. So that's very good. But yeah, it's learning how to use different things and different people. Whereas before, you know, you never let anybody from the community, you know, hey, and we can do it. We'll do it ourselves. But it's, I guess, allowing other people in and learning how to, I guess, teach the community how to give us a hand as well in a safe way.
I love that. I love that sort of, being in these sort of small, isolated places, sort of with limited resources, forces you to really rely on the community that's around you to like get everything done.
Absolutely, yes. And you build like these relationships with like community members, plus then if there is a doctor or other allied health on scene, you build a really close relationship with them. And a lot of the time you end up, you know, integrating with them with regards to how we're going to manage, you know, those more chronic patients. Yeah. So, you know, instead of, you know, taking this person on to mainland every time they have something, it might be called to the GP, who, by the way, lives on the island and is available, you know, to call 24 hours a day and happy to. So maybe giving them a call and making a joint decision on how we're going to manage that person and whether or not, you know, they can stay here. Is there something else that we can do for them while we're here? The doctor might even come to the patient while I'm there. And, you know, we work really well with those sort of allied health, a lot more in those rural areas than we would in mainland.
In metro.
Yeah.
And do you feel like those skills helped you when you sort of transitioned into critical care?
Oh, absolutely. So learning to work by myself was really good. And then also it helped with that leadership. Yeah, it really helped with that. So being able to, like I said, using the community members and things like that, it helped me develop my leadership skills, my communication skills, working with the allied health really closely again, helped with that sort of leadership perspective as well. It probably was the biggest thing that it helped.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I've never thought about the leadership side of it, but yeah, sort of like learning how to sort of step back and be like, here's what I need. Yeah. And now I have to find a way to get it from the people around me.
Exactly. And changing how I communicate between different people. Yeah. People that might understand some medical stuff, people that don't as well. And being able to change how I speak and communicate to those different people but still manage the scene and manage the patient. Yeah.
Even judging other people's capacity for help of like what I think they'll be able to handle versus like what might be too much. Yeah. And
Exactly. Obviously, you know, a 80-year-old Beryl who's come to give us a hand is not going to be helping us carry the patient down, you know, the stairs or anything like that versus, you know, the 20-year-old trainee that's also.
Yeah. But you know that Beryl knows everybody.
She definitely knows everybody. She probably knows where they were born and everything.
Right? Yeah. Can give you full history and knows who to call for other things. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I have one final question, unrelated to urban versus rural. What is your guilty pleasure on night shifts, either on the shift or after the shift, to make you feel just a little bit more human?
Definitely a hash brown.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
At any particular time during the night?
After 2 p.m. 2 a.m.
After 2 a.m.
After 2 a.m., calories don't count. Hash brown it is.
Sounds great. Thank you so much and enjoy the conference.
Yeah, thank you for having me.